Hi guys, this is my video response to Stephanie's favorite name video. I'm going to go through my top 10 favorite boy names and my top 10 favorite girl names. I love talking about my favorite names. My favorites always change though, so these might not be the same names that I like in a week, and they're probably not the same names that I liked last week, except my top 5 stays the same. These are just names that I would use one day. I'm not old enough at all to have a baby yet, but one day these might be names that I would use for a little baby. So I'll start with the boys. She started with the girls, but I'm going to start with the boys. And my number 10 name on my list for boys is Orion. And Orion is a Greek mythology name, and it's also the name of a constellation, and I think that's kind of cool. I think it's more like an updated, fresher sounding version of Orion. The O at the start is really cool, Orion. The next name on my list is Nathaniel, and Nathaniel is a Hebrew name that means gift of God. I used to like Nathaniel, and recently I've started loving this name. I think it's a cool name, but it's easy for people to pronounce and read because they're familiar with it, but it's not too popular, and I try and avoid popular names when I'm looking for names that I like. Number 8 on my list is Vincent, and Vincent is a Latin name that means victorious, and this is a new one to my list. Probably a year ago I would have thought it was a very old man sounding, but I think now that it has kind of a fresh sound, and I'd love to meet a little baby named Vincent. Number 6? Yeah, number 6. No, number 7. 10, 9, 8. Number 7 on my list is Ambrose. And Ambrose is a Greek name, and it means immortal. And I've recently just started loving this name. The only problem is I can't really think of a good nickname for Ambrose, because Am is like, it doesn't really work as a nickname. And Brose doesn't really work as a nickname. So that would be a reason why I wouldn't use it, but I still really like it. My number 6. I don't have the numbers written down, obviously. My number 6 favorite name is Gareth, and Gareth is a Welsh name. And Gareth, I believe, was one of the Knights of the Round Table, so that's a pretty cool association. Yeah. My number 5 favorite name for boys is Zephyr. And this one is a little bit out there. A lot of people don't like this because it's kind of weird and it would be hard to spell, and it's kind of hard to pronounce, but I really like it, and it means west wind, and it is a Greek name. For boys, I really like Greek names a lot. My number 1 name is a Greek name, but I'm not going to tell you yet. My number 4 favorite name is Kingsley. And Kingsley is also sort of a new one on my list. I sort of started liking it about 6 months ago. And it means from the King's Field. And I like this name partly because I reread Harry Potter, like all the Harry Potter books recently, and there's a character named Kingsley Shacklebolt, who I think is a really cool character, and in the movies he's really cool too, even though he's like such a minor character. But that's sort of where I first heard the name, and I really, really like it. I think the nickname King, even though a lot of people would say it's kind of pretentious, I think it's pretty cool. Yeah. My number 3 favorite name is a name that I absolutely love. It's my brother's middle name, and that is Jericho, and I love the meaning of this name. It means City of the Moon. I think that's so cool. I would love to travel to the Middle East and go to Jericho and Jerusalem and all those cities, and I think this is a very, very cool place name. Next, number 2 name is also a place name, as well as a literary name. And that is Caspian, and I have loved this name ever since I was little, and I read Prince Caspian, or my dad read it to me, I guess, because I was too young to read, and I just love the name Caspian. The Caspian Sea, Prince Caspian, just all these good associations. Caspian means of the Caspi people, so yeah, basically just referring to people who live around the Caspian Sea. And my number 1 name, for those of you that don't know, is Theodore, and it means gift of God, and it is a Greek name, and I absolutely love it. I would use this name, and when he was little I would call him Teddy, and then when that got embarrassing for him, I would call him Theo, and I think Theo is like the coolest guy's name out there. If I was a boy, I would want to be Theo, even though I'd be Daniel, because that's what I would have been if I was a boy. So those are my boys' names. Now my girls' names. My number 10 girl's name is Pearl, and I think Pearl is short and simple and sweet, and it fits into the category of gemstones, and I think a little girl would love to have the name of a jewel, and you could buy her like little pearl earrings, and it would be just something she would have to associate herself with. I don't know if I would use it as a first name though. It's a really, really good middle name because it goes with so many different names. My number 9 girl's name is Liila, and Liila is an Arabic name, and it means black or night. And I've always thought this name is very beautiful and mysterious. It kind of sounds like Layla, or all those names like Layla, Lila, that are really popular right now. And the only problem is that people would probably pronounce it Lila, but it is pronounced Liila, at least that's how I pronounce it, and I think it's beautiful. And then my number 8 name is a Hebrew name, which is Miriam, and in the Bible Miriam is Moses' and Aaron's sister, and I just love the name Miriam. It's so beautiful. The only problem is the meaning is sea of bitterness, so that's not exactly the best meaning. Number 7 on my list is my mom's name, and she didn't like her name growing up because it was really long, and when she was growing up, names like Nancy and Shelley and Karen were cool, and Elizabeth, which is her name, wasn't a cool name, so she always went by Liz. But I think Elizabeth is one of the most beautiful names in the world, and it's the name of 2 queens. It's the name of so many like literary characters like Elizabeth Bennet. I don't know what's not to love about this name, and it means God is my oath. It's a Hebrew name, and it's a biblical name. My number 6, 10, 9, 8. My number 6 favorite name is Josephine, and Josephine means God will increase. It's a feminine variant of Joseph, and what's funny is I'm not a huge fan of the name Joseph. I like Josephine, but I'm not a huge fan of Joseph. I like Josephine partly because when I was little I loved the book Little Women, and Josephine, or Jo March, is the heroine of that book, so that's one of the reasons I like this name so much. The next name, my number 5 name, is Sylvia, and Sylvia is a Latin name and it means of the forest, which I think is kind of cool. It reminds me of like somebody who lives in the forest, I guess. But Sylvia sounds so beautiful. I just think it is a beautiful sounding name. And my next name, my number 4 name, is also a Latin name, and it is Vivian. And Vivian means alive, and I just love this name. It was my number 3 name, but recently I've started loving the name Sapphire. And I know that sounds so out there and so weird, and I would only probably use it as a middle name, but I just think it's so cool. So Sapphire is my number 3 name. My number 2 name is Beatrix, and Beatrix is so cool. I think of Beatrix Potter, the writer, and I just think Trixie is like the coolest little nickname. And Beatrix means bringer of joy, so it has a wonderful meaning as well. And my absolute favorite number 1 girl's name is Antonia, and Antonia is not a popular name by any stretch of the imagination. It's not even in the top 1,000. I like it because it is Latin. It has so many different nickname potentials. You could be Tony or Annie or basically anything. It's 4 syllables, and my name's 4 syllables, and my mom's name's 4 syllables, so I think it would go well with our names. I just think it's beautiful and it means priceless, so you can't really get any better than that, at least in my mind. So those are my top 20 names, my favorite names for boys and girls. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you guys want to make a video of your top names, that would be awesome. So thanks for watching. Bye guys.